right, we are open to last night's homework, 323 and 324 to correct. So, okay, here is 323. So we had number 2, 7, 10, and then 14 and 16 on the next page. So for number 2, they put boxes in the spaces where you should be writing a digit. Now I know when some of you started number 2, you're like, wait a minute, Miss E. Nothing can go into 3, so why was there a box above 3? Well, that's because eventually, you would need to put a 0 there because 7 can go into 33 4 times, but since the decimal would go up before the 4, we always need the 0 there. So your answer for number 2 should have been 48 hundredths. How did we feel about number 2? Show me 1 through 5. How did you feel about number 2? Okay, awesome. Okay, you can grab one. Awesome. Questions on number 2? Okay. Then we had number 7. So number 7, they didn't set it up for you, but you would have set it up just like we were in our notebook yesterday and just like they did up top here for 1 through 4. So number 7, when we take 27 and 6/10 and divide by 8, we should wind up with 3 and 45 hundredths. So 3.45. How did we feel about number 7, 1 through 5? Show me, please. How do we feel about number 7? How do we feel? Okay, awesome. Hands down. Then, any questions on number 7? All right, Richie, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Then for number 10, we took 37 and 8/10 divided by 7, and we wound up with 5 and 4/10. How did we feel about number 10? Show me on your hand, 1 through 5. How do we feel? Awesome. Philip, how did you feel about number 10? Okay. Well, we'll see. Awesome. Hands down. Are there questions on number 10? Richie?
Would it be fine to put a 0 behind the 4?
Yes, because that's an equivalent decimal. Definitely. 5 and 40 hundredths or 5.40 would also work. Nice job. Overall, first page of homework, how did we feel? All of them together, how did we feel? Awesome. Awesome. Good. Okay. All right, hands down. Hands down. Now we're going to go on to our word problems. I know at least one of them were a little trickier. So let's look at number 14 first. So number 14 said, Nathan drove 275 and 2/10 miles on 8 gallons of gas. Divide 275 and 2/10 by 8 to find the average number of miles per gallon for Nathan's car. So first of all, I'm going to say Nathan has a very gas-efficient car. That's a lot of miles to drive on 8 gallons of gas. So you should have taken 275.2 and divided it by 8. And you should have gotten 34 and 4/10. Now the unit, you could have said 34 and 4/10 miles. You also could have said 34 and 4/10 miles per gallon. That would also work. That would also work. Does anyone have questions for number 14? Okay, show me on your hand, 1 through 5, how did you feel about 14? Okay, you just got the unit wrong? Okay. How do we feel? Dang unit. All right. Hands to yourself. All right. Ready to rock. Okay, so no questions on 14. Okay. Then we had number 16. So this one was a little tricky just because there was a lot to keep track of. So, you guys, you saying that something's easy is not helpful to the people in our class who maybe don't feel as confident about the question. 16 was tricky because you had a lot of information to keep track of. We know the steps, but actually going through all of it, you can get messed up. So, for number 16, it said that a school auditorium has 3 sections for seating. So, how many of you have been in like a movie theater or a theater where there's like aisles and it separates the seats into 3 separate sections? Yeah, it's just like that. So they said one section has 16 rows with 14 seats in each row. The other 2 sections have 18 rows with 10 seats. in each row. How many seats are in the 3 sections in all? So what you should have done, you needed to figure out, okay, for the first section, it is 16 rows with 14 seats per row. So if you take 16 times 14, you should have gotten 224. So that's the first section. Then for the second and third section, you needed to take 18 times 10, which is 180. Now, if we add 180 plus 180, we wind up with 360. 360. So if we take 224 plus 360, you wind up with 584, and then your unit should be seats because you're trying to figure out how many seats are in the entire auditorium. Yes, Richie?
I didn't really multiply the 18 times 10.
Yeah.
Because I just know 18 times 10 is 180.
Yes.
So 180 plus 180.
Perfect. Yes, some of us already have that prior knowledge, right? That we know, okay, if we're multiplying by 10, I just need to add a 0 onto it. Awesome. That definitely works. Are there any questions for 16? How many of you got a little tripped up on number 16? Maybe it was hard to keep track of all the numbers, or there was a silly mistake when you were adding. Yeah. Yep, it happens. That happens. Did everyone at least get their unit correct? You got seats?
I got the numbers straight for good. I did seats and all.
Oh, seats and all would work, or seats in the auditorium, or auditorium seats. That would all work.
Anything with seats would work.
Yes. All right, I'd like you to think about your entire homework assignment all together. Show me on your hand 1 through 5. How do you feel about the entire assignment together? And I want to see everyone's hand. Okay. Yosius, show me on your hand. Awesome. All right, hands down. Open up to the next clean page in your notebook for today's notes.